is a video review for the National Writing for Children Center of the book Early Sunday Morning by Deneen Milner. And you'll notice that this book is a picture book. It's a hardcover, and it's got a lovely front cover, very colorful and attractive, and I love this print that's kind of embossed. We can kind of put our fingers across here and read it. And you know, that's kind of cool for kids who are sort of kinesthetic learners, the ones they love to hold things and, you know, put their fingers across it. The other thing I like about the book is the colorful end papers, and once children read the book, they can go back and see what these things, these illustrations in the end papers mean. So that could be a question that a parent or teacher or grandparent reading the book to the child could kind of go back and get the child to point out for further engagement with the book. Now, the book starts out with this little girl. It's written in first person, so at first we don't know her name, but it starts out with, "Sunday is the Lord's Day when Mommy, Daddy, my brother, and I go to church. This Sunday is extra special because I'll be singing my first solo in the youth choir." And what I really like about these two pages, besides the nice illustrations, is the fact that it's a double-page spread, because if you're reading a book to several children, you want the kids in the back to be able to see the illustrations just as well as the ones in the front. So when you hold it up like this, it's easy for them to see. I also like the way the text is divided into short chunks like this, so it makes it easy for an adult to read to the child and follows the story along. So we go to the next page and we see another double page spread that's really nice. And it says, "I sing lots of songs in the mirror when no one is watching. Sometimes Daddy and I sing loud, silly songs together and giggle at the funny words. Singing with Daddy is when I am happiest of all." So the story goes on like this, and I think there are different things that you can use, different points a parent or a teacher could use. For example, when she says singing with Daddy is when I'm happiest of all, you could you know, ask other children, what's something you do with your parents or whoever you stay with that's, you know, fun and you're happy when you're doing it. I wouldn't ask that, of course, when I'm reading the book. I just go along with the storyline, but later there are different things you could come back to. So next she says, "But singing by myself with a microphone in front of a crowd is big and a little scary. Even a choir rehearsal, when barely anyone is watching me practice, my voice gets all trembly. One day I hear Angela and Tommy whisper and giggle as I walked back to my seat. Good grief, Sister Sarah could have just given that solo to a goat. It might not remember the words, but at least it would be able to sing the notes. Their words stung. So did my tears." So again, we could point out something about bullying here. You know, why would somebody have to make fun of someone else singing, and what could you do about it? For example, if you or Tommy and Angela is talking to you in this way, what could you say to get her to stop saying things like that? But I might point that out later after the story is going. And you could also ask the children as you're reading, what's the little girl's name? Did we just find out what her name is? And they could say, Sarah. Then we turn the page and we see throughout the rest of the story that Sarah goes about her day, and she's really concerned about the solo she's going to do. So she gets some advice from her mother, her auntie here, who's talking to her about wearing a new dress. Then the barber, when her brother gets his hair cut, she's going to get some advice from him. And then she comes back and her mom washes her hair, and her mother is giving her some advice. And again, double page spreads, nice pictures kids can relate to. Most kids can relate to their mom doing their hair, and it's not the most fun thing in the world. And then Sunday morning she gets up and she's getting ready to go to church. And she says, "They wake up to the smell of roast beef, macaroni and cheese, collards, cornbread, and sweet potato pie, my favorite. Mommy always makes Sunday dinner in the morning so we can eat right after church. That's because sometimes when Pastor Scott gets lost in the rhythm, he can preach on and on and on on way into the afternoon. We eat cereal and toast to hold us over until dinner time. And again, you could use this book to teach diversity, because all kids maybe don't eat roast beef, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, cornbread, and sweet potato pie after church. So you could ask them, what kind of things does your family eat after church? If you don't go to church, what kind of things do maybe your family just love to eat on Sunday? Just different things like that. Then she gets ready for church, putting on her clothes. Her choir robe is hanging from the bedroom door, and her brother comes out. He's all dressed up. And there's her mother getting all dressed up, putting her lipstick on, and she has her nice Sunday clothes on. And then they wake their father to say goodbye, because he's worked an extra shift at the bakery, so he's got to rest today. So he's not coming to see her sing, and this sort of makes her sad. And then he talks to her, tells her he'll be there with her in spirit, singing along with her, knowing this will have to do. Okay, so then we go on and we see what happens, and then, as with any good picture book, the story ends with a twist, and this is a real heartwarming twist that I think children can really relate to and will really enjoy. So I'm not going to give away the ending, but I just think this is a cute little picture book. If you're using it in the classroom, you might need to ask the principal or whomever runs your school first to see, because it is a Christian book, and many times we don't want to give the impression that we're just trying to promote Christianity above all else. So I think this book could be used to promote diversity of lifestyles, religions, ethnicity, just all kinds of things, depending on how the teacher uses it in the classroom. So we at the National Writing for Children Center would highly recommend this book, Early Sunday Morning by Deneen Milner.